So something broke in my workflow this year and it was hard for me to name it. Now it's very easy for us to build things, right? You go to Claude Code, you write something and you have a working prototype in like 20 minutes. But everything after that is not at all sorted. Your developer doesn't know, your designer doesn't know, your co-founder doesn't know what is happening and how to get onto the same page and solve things. I think building has become easier, but alignment has become even more tougher. Now what I do generally is I go back to Claude and I start from zero. It has zero context and I am basically that context layer between whether I did this sideboard this way or I did something else that way, and that takes me forward. Miro commissioned a study last year in which it was said that 75% of the leaders in the AI space believe that these AI tools are built too narrowly for individual work. Like you can do everything on your own, right? You can chat on your own, you can write code, you can get your code written, you can ship stuff on your own, but that's it. Your team can't work with you together. Miro is sponsoring this video and tell you why I specifically said yes to this. They shipped an MCP server in Feb this year in partnership with Google, Windsurf, built with Anthropic, AWS, GitHub and others. And once I set it up on my system, I was not just doing a demo, but actually things were working right there. So in this video, I'm going to talk about this. First is flows. These are multi-step AI workflows that run on your canvas. Second are the AI agents that live on the canvas and already have context of what's happening on the board. And there's an MCP server that goes both direction. If you're an engineer, I think MCP you are already aware and you should definitely use. Without any further ado, let's get started and see how can you use flows. As most of you would have already used it, this is how the Miro board actually looks like. And there are so many other features right now that you can see. This is a feature, you can see this is Sidekicks. We'll show you what Sidekicks is, but before that I'll take you through what flows are and how can you get something. So I'll basically show you a diagram on what we are actually trying to build. We'll configure all those elements in the Miro board and then we'll connect it in a flow to get something tangible. So this is the diagram that I want to showcase it to you. So for example, what we're going to do is we're going to build a flow in our Miro board with a usability test report. Maybe I'll pick some topic around coding agents. So I'll pick a usability test report for coding agents. Then there'll be a brainstorming session. For example, there are like 5 people, 10 people in your team discussing about something and each of them have their own perspective. And we generally put that up using sticky notes on a board and we'll do something similar. We'll have some information from the brainstorming session. And we'll also do web research, right? And all of these things can be done in a Miro board very easily. Then we'll point all of them to a summary doc using flows and I'll showcase you how it is done. And after that, we can go for a prototype or we can go for a tasks table. Now, for example, for the usability test report, I have something. Now I have this usability test report, like this is the first element of my Miro board wherein I have a Kestrel usability test wherein who it was tested with, what they were asked to do, whether the coding agent was completing stuff or not, what were different findings, and this is how we have put it here. So this is the usability test. Then I need to have a brainstorming board. For example, there can be so many notes or sticky notes and I'll get them here. Now, for example, these are different perspectives or sticky notes that you can see. Somebody said replay a run step by step. Something said this was with a more intuitive UX. Somebody said kill switch visible at all time, make it better, collapse the boring parts. So different people had different opinions and we have kind of narrated all their opinions using different sticky notes. This is what generally happens in a meeting room, right? Now, if you want to put all of these sticky notes into a frame, I'll put them into a frame. So this is how the frame would look like. You can customize the frame also, customize the color of the frame also. Like if you want to put it yellow, if you want to put it brown, if you want to put it black, you can do that. That's so cool. Let's keep it white. And now this is our frame. You can name this frame one as brainstorming frame. Now we have two things from our diagram that we have. We have usability test report, we have brainstorming session, and then is web research. Now I'll do the web research. How we'll get to know what the web research is. Now to get that research bar, I'll just click on plus and I'll click on instruction. Now I have an AI instruction box that I can set it up here. So this is the flow instruction. I can write a prompt to generate AI instructions. For example, I'll ask it to write, help me find out all that is happening in the coding agent space right now in the market. So I've simply given this prompt and this will search for all the things that are available in the market. So now we have the research step also. We have these 3 steps: usability test, brainstorming session, web research. And now we want to put all of them in a summary doc. Now how will create this flow? So for example, if you'll go and click on flows here, So now if you will go and click on flows here, you can create, you can look out for flows. These are some of the flows which are predefined, but let's say if you just wanna connect this to something, for example, I'll open a document. Yeah, so I want to organize all the thoughts on a doc. So this is the doc that I would want to summarize everything. So I'll connect it to my usability test. Similarly, I'll connect this to the general flow instruction. I'll also connect this to my brainstorming session. Now all these three sources combined are here to this flow, and I'll write a prompt here and I'll try to run the step. Now, based on this entire information, it has created a summary doc for me, and based upon this summary doc, I can help do something, right? Help me write a prototype. For example, if I'll ask, based upon the research that has been done, help me create a basic prototype of a coding agent, how it would look like. Now I've given this prompt. Now I can do a lot of things. I can add something from library. I can create with AI, or I can import with Figma. I'll simply go and run this step. So it's running the flow, and all the information from all the different sources is gathering to build this prototype. So you can see everything is happening inside this board, and this is what actually it looks like when you're working in a team and you want to collaborate on different projects. Miro, along with all these new AI features, makes it so exciting. Now you can see within my Miro board, I have the prototype ready. This is how my welcome screen would look like. This is how the onboarding process would look like. And this is the task composer. And this prototype is made inside my Miro board. And further, if I want to extend this and I want to have a diagram or a table or a timetable or Kanban, document, slides, image, I can have each and everything. So if I'll say board layout, I'll simply click on board layout and I'll ask it to build that for me. And this is how my board actually looks like now. This is another frame, but you can see how easy it is to connect different information and get stuff out. Now the second most important thing that I wanted to talk about was Sidekicks. These are the AI agents that live on your board, and they have context of everything. They will have context of this usability test report. They'll have context of this web research. They will have context of brainstorming session and the document and also the prototype. Now this is the button that you'll need to click. You open a Sidekick. This is not just a chatbot, but so many different things. I'll simply give it a prompt. Maybe help me understand what all tasks are to be performed and design an agenda for a sprint for next 15 days. So it will help me design the sprint for next 15 days for this project to take place. I'll simply click on next, and you'll see this object has been added as context. Now it's thinking, and based upon that, this is a product launch for Kestrel, which is to verify first coding agent. So this is how the core task would look like. It includes product development, go to market, launch prep, and so on. So it is asking me to turn it into a 15-day sprint agenda on the canvas. Definitely I would want a 15-day sprint agenda. Yes, please give me a 15 days agenda on canvas. Now I can say this is how it actually looks like. Now I'm super excited to see what it comes up with. So this is generating, so it will give me a 15 days sprint agenda on how this product would be shipped, including what all features, what all people, and how are those to be shipped, including the timelines. Let's see what it comes up with. Now this is the thing that it came up with. It came up with a 15-day sprint on the agenda. So our 15-day sprint is on the canvas. It flows from core product building to features and integrations to go to market. This is how my week would look like, including day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. This is how my sprint would be planned. Also, I can do and ask a lot of different things to Sidekicks, and this makes the entire process so easy. So this is how the board actually looks like, and we have done so many things. You now know about flows, and you can have some predefined flows from here. If you want to go and click on flows, there are so many predefined flows. For example, flow for engineering, agile workflows. If your team is working on this, if your team is working on diagramming and mapping, you can have flows for ideation and brainstorming. So many predefined templates, or you can create something of your own that we did just in case. And now the most interesting part, right? I want to connect this to my Claude Code or any of the CLI or any of the tools that I'm using for coding. Mostly I use Claude Code. I would show you how can you connect this to your Claude Code very easily. Now to connect to MCP, if I'll click on plus sign and I'll search for MCP. Oh no, it's not in the tool. I'll explore in the marketplace. Now you can see Miro MCP for Kiro, for Devin, for Cursor, Replit, Claude, Lovable, everything. Now I want to connect it to my Claude. Now this is how it will take me to my Claude workspace, and I'll click on connect to Claude. I have already connected, that's why it's showing, but once you click on connect to Claude, it will be showing there to you. Now let's see what happens. So it's pulling my Miro boards and the Kestrel one also. So it's searching for boards. So it has found the Kestrel board, and let me read what's on it. Now it's reading that board. This is our board ID, summarize the format. So I'm using Opus 5, you can use any model. You see how easy it is to use all these three things. I've covered flows, I've covered Sidekicks, I've covered MCP, and you as a developer, I think MCP is very, very helpful for you to do anything and everything with Miro, and your team can do a lot of stuff. This is 2026 and teams essentially need a tool like Miro to work collaboratively and get stuff done. So you can see it's now reading prototype screens. So it has taken information from the prototype screens and it will start building them. So it has read the findings, the brainstorm and the sprint plan. The board already has welcome onboarding task component. So I'll build the verify first flow and then follows the generate plan and estimate. This is how it will actually start building, and you can use with any of the softwares. This was all for this particular video, and I'm super excited to use Miro more and share more content with you. So I think now you got context of what exactly is working together in a team and how Miro is helping solve that. If at all you have a messy session that goes onto the canvas, flows will solve it. Sidekicks would then pressure test it and build something that the team could actually use. And the MCP server carries all that context, including the reasoning into whichever tool that you ship from. Now I feel that your board is not just where you brainstorm, but I think it's a shared memory for your entire team's AI stack. I would definitely recommend you to check out all these three things, but definitely set up MCP if you're an engineer. If you're setting up MCP for the first time, I've already done a lot of videos on the channel, but make sure you spend some time understanding and setting it up for yourself. You can go and check out and try out the free tier. It's available. You can get the link from my description and start it today. And then if you find it helpful, you can gradually upgrade it to more. That was it for this particular video. Thank you so much for watching till here. Let me know in the comments below if you have any doubts and what you set up with MCP server of Miro. Thank you so much. See you in another video. Till then, all the best, good luck, and bye.